Hello, fellow IASB members. This month, we're telling the story about another international bureau, HiCue Speakers. This bureau started in late 2003 as the first speakers bureau in Colombia and has grown to operate all across Latin America, into Mexico, and the US. Here's the founder and CEO, Santiago Zapata, with our illustrious editor, Sheldon Senek.
Welcome to IASB's Telling the Story. Today's guest is Santiago Zapata, founder and CEO of HiCue Speakers in Colombia. Santiago, thank you so much for joining us today.
Sheldon, good morning. My pleasure to be here with you.
How you doing this? It's almost afternoon, right?
Yeah, great. I'm doing great.
Yeah. Santiago, tell me, how did HiCue Speakers begin?
Wow. Well, I was living in Colombia, and I had the idea of starting a speakers bureau, and my first objective was to bring a franchise of the Harry Walker agency to Colombia, and I contacted them and I said, listen, I want to have an office, a Harry Walker agency office in Colombia. And they said, no, we have offices anywhere in the world, but why don't you come to New York and let's talk. So that's how it all started.
Right. How did the name for the organization HiCue come about? It's a real intriguing name.
Well, we started to think of different names. Obviously, my first option was a Harry Walker agency, but it didn't work. So I didn't want to start Latin American Speakers or Zapata Speakers. So I started looking for interesting names, and we created this long list of names and finally a short list. And HiCue is an abbreviation of High IQ.
Right.
And our tagline is so it's HiCue, a higher intelligence company. So a higher meaning the highest, and also higher that you can hire intelligence.
Right. So a little bit about your background. How did you personally get involved in this, and what led to your involvement in the speakers organization?
Well, I had a very successful career in the corporate world. I had worked in aviation and then in media, and I had read all of most of the top management books. I had assisted to top seminars all over the world, and I had produced some events myself with a newspaper where I used to work, and so that's how I had been in contact with Washington Speakers, with Harry Walker, with Libero, the American Programming Bureau. So that's how I had kind of the contact with the industry, right. And then one day it just occurred that it would be interesting to have one in Latin America.
Hmm. So what is the focus of HiCue, and talk about the kind of speakers that you represent?
Well, our focus is Latin America, so we have events all over the region. Initially we were representing the main bureaus from the US, Canada, and Europe. Okay. So promoting their names in the region. But eventually we started to grow our own speakers portfolio. So we have the main Latin American former heads of state, former ministers, former mayors. So we do have a large portfolio of over 150 names from Latin America.
Wow.
President Gaviria, for example, was like our main. Cesar Gaviria, who was the president of Colombia from 1990 to 94, and then Oya's Secretary General for 10 years. So he's one of our #1 speaker right now, and he has been for the past 6 or 7 years.
Really?
And then we have President Lagos from Chile, and we have President Cardoso from Brazil. So we have interesting names from Latin America. So we promote them within Latin America and also towards the US and Europe. But also we handle speakers from the US coming to Latin America. That for them coming to Latin America is not that easy. They feel a little bit nervous. So when they work with us, they feel very comfortable. We know the market, we know the clients. So and we take care of them. From the moment they arrive until they leave, so they enjoy working with us.
Well, you just mentioned market a second ago. So how is, can you talk about the Latin American market and maybe how it differs from places like North America?
Well, it's different in terms of its culture and of the way that we have been working with speakers. I mean, in the U.S., speakers have been around for over 80 years. In Latin America, it was very informal until 9 years ago. If anybody wanted a speaker, it was a Latin American speaker. It was like through contest. Oh, he's a friend of a friend, and favors. He would do it for free. Now,
really,
it's very formal. Now, we abide by the code of ethics of the IASB, and we operate very similar to how a U.S. bureau would operate. So everything is transparent, everything is over the table, everything is clear to everybody,
right,
and very professional. And also the market is growing with the free trade agreements and globalization. Latin America is growing as a region. There's a lot of appetite for knowledge. People want to really get an update in all the topics, and we operate with different topics. I mean, we don't only handle former heads of state, but top economists and management related topics. So it's different types of events.
Wow. So it really sounds like the relationship building for you is really important. Your relationship with other bureaus, like in North America or Europe or so forth, right?
Absolutely. That's how we started is promoting the names of the other bureaus, but for the past I would say 7 years we have been building our own portfolio.
Right.
So we do it's a two-way relationship. So we do promote exclusives from the main bureaus in the U.S., Canada, and Europe, but they also book our speakers. So we have worked, for example, with Lee Bureau many times, with Harry Walker, with Washington Speaker. And we don't only bring their speakers, but they also book our speakers. With APP, for example, with Bob Walker, we have had a very close relationship in Europe with Daniel Romero Abreu, Thinking Heads. We work very closely. So we do work closely with other bureaus.
Right. So. In closing, what's maybe one important thing that you would like IASB members to know and understand about HiCue speakers?
Well, we can be a great partner in Latin America. We know that for speakers and for bureaus working in Latin America, it's not easy. You don't really know the market, so you have a local partner. We have offices in Lima, in Bogota. That's where we started. In Lima, in Buenos Aires, in Mexico City, and shortly we'll be opening next month in San Jose, Costa Rica, and in Santo Domingo.
Congratulations on that. That's great. So that's nice that there's some expansion happening for you there. That's wonderful to hear.
It is. I think it's important for our speakers to have this broader market, and also clients in these countries appreciate to have local presence.
Well, Santiago, it's been a real pleasure having you on as a guest, and as I'm sure as many of our members are looking forward to seeing you in Miami.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. I look forward to seeing you in Miami and seeing all my friends from IASB in Miami.